Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Bamford, Vince, Bradley, Hines, Robinson, Laurence and Higgins. We're looking at 1987's Hellraiser.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts and my name's Planty and I have such sights to show you.
And I'm the other guy and he tears my soul apart.
The chance would be a fine thing.
Every week.
John, how are you?
I'm alright, all the better for no seeing you.
Yeah, network's not very good, so there's no visual of me today.
Yeah.
Luckily for John, it means he can't see my fucking strong hand child.
Oh, yeah.
As if you don't follow us on the socials, you will not know that I managed to rip open or smash the ligaments in my index finger doing some DIY. They have since been sewn back together. Fantastic work by the NHS, but my hand is out of use until after the live show, so that will be interesting.
Yeah, not half. God, it's going to be a good one. But yeah, you say that, but I think you've been playing with that bloody box and Pinhead tried to grab you and pull some flesh. It's quite a coincidence.
It looks really sharp, this box, doesn't it?
It really does.
I mean, I am currently going through doing this podcast with you and being on the drugs that I'm on. I am going through pleasure and pain beyond comprehension. So,
son.
Yeah, that's exactly right. John, what film are we talking about this week?
1987's Hellraiser.
Cannot tell me that you do not have a relationship with this film.
Oh, I think everybody does. It was my sister. I remember it well. My sister was babysitting for someone, and they left a bunch of videos on their VCR. And while she was a young gal, she watched Hellraiser, and proceeded to tell us all about it. And I thought it was and gruesome detail.
She's a game bird, your sister, in fairness.
yeah, she really is. But she told us all about it, and I was dying to see it. And everything she says was true. The story, the fable stories are true. So yeah, she was good at narrating the whole thing. She told me all about the flesh getting ripped off. Oh, it's so good. But
yeah, hey, fantastic work, great. Look, we're the podcast that tries to learn 100 things from every film that we cover. This week is just a standard week. Actually, the reason that we're doing this in particular was I bought Rachel, my wife, a copy of the 4K restoration on Arrow Video, which I'm holding in my hands at the minute, and it looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Including all the other extra bits and pieces that are in it, some of which I used to get my facts. So we're going to try and learn 100 things from it. Next time you listen to this show, it's going to be from a patron's choice, and it's Candy from Modern Escapism. John and I know what she's picked, and of course she knows what she's picked, but we're going to keep that on the QT for now. Mm-hmm. But just say, I'm really happy because it was on my long list anyway.
Yeah, she's a good egg. She's obviously a long-time listener.
Yeah, she pretends she doesn't listen, but she does. So it's a great choice, and it's something you can all watch for free on Tinternets without taking onto the high seas. If you want to be like Candy and the rest of our patrons and get on the wheel, you can do so. We'll give it a spin for you. Just give us £1 a month, and we will shout you out and get you on the list.
You alright?
Do that at patreon.com/100 things film, or go to 100thingswelearnfromfilm.co.uk for all of our links and the like. Just a little word of warning. I might become a lot less lucid as this goes on, because I've not managed to do a full day without absolutely just powering down in the last week. So let's see how that goes. John, 1987.
Yeah.
What else could we have been talking about?
God, there was loads. There was The Lost Boys.
I don't like it as much as everybody else.
Well, let's go on to somebody else then. The Witches of Eastwick.
Oh, love it. It's on the list, by the way.
Is it definitely on the list? Definitely.
Yeah, definitely on the list. It's a great film.
Good Morning Vietnam.
I don't know why it's not on the list. We bang on about it all the time, don't we?
We really do. Empire of the Sun. Oh, one of your favourites, Jaws the Revenge.
Bloody hell!
My God.
The old classic story of I've never seen the film, but I've seen the house that the film bought.
Yeah. And last but not least, Wall Street.
Oh, Wall Street. Wall Street's good.
Yeah.
Have you seen the second one?
No. Have you?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think Eli Wallach's last film? Question mark.
What?
Yeah. Wallach.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, let us begin. By the way, listeners, just to give you a little bit of, and John, I haven't told you this yet, just to give you a little bit of an idea. I was really struggling to type anything out. So I went onto Google Docs and used Google Docs' version of Speak to Type.
Oh.
I've only been through this set of notes once, and it was late at night after I'd had a couple of painkillers and some booze. Who knows what this actually says? I couldn't tell you.
Jesus.
Let's see. So, it opens and says that it is a New World Pictures, John. Anything on New World?
Yep, so it was founded in 1970 and defunct by January 1997. They also produced Heathers with Christian Slater and Winona Ryder. And no reason I remember that is because I remember that film being really fucked up. But then when you watch Mean Girls, you go, do you know what? That wasn't that bad.
Mean Girls is like the better Heathers.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Okay. Exactly what I had, John. Died on my 17th birthday, 1997, when it was eaten by News Corp. And like last episode, we're still not talking about News Corp. Of course, we knew about Heathers, as you say, Death Race 2000, and future episode Warlock.
Ooh, Julian Sands.
With famous hiker Julian Sands.
Oh, Jesus. Richard D. Grant? I'm sure Richard D. Grant's in it.
Possibly, maybe he's in the third one, or one of the many follow-ups. Got as many follow-ups as Hellraiser.
Yeah, there is three of them, isn't there?
I think there's more. But I didn't know they had TV stations in the 90s in places such as Alabama, Arizona, California, Florida, Michigan, and like 10 others that I just got bored of writing.
That's not like you, is it?
So there we go. No, not
well,
at all.
you say typing and writing. You mean talking, didn't you? You get bored of talking?
No, the facts is different because I couldn't do the facts by talking. I had to type out the facts. And typing one-handed, I'm really good when I'm masturbating, but not when I'm...
You can tap it a good ditty.
At this market, which we're supposed to believe is at Morocco,
yes.
We only know that because it's based on the story.
Yep.
And there's this chap. This character is just.
It's. I was expecting to say Mogwai. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much so. I almost expected him to go in and ask Rick at Rick's bar to do him a favour and help get him across the border. Come on, Rick, get me across the border. He says, "What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?" And he says, "I want the box. Take it. It's yours. It always was." I really wanted that bit from The Simpsons here where it explains it comes with a terrible curse. You know, that's bad. But it also comes with Frogger. Well, that's good. But actually, that's the joke of the film. So they wouldn't do that anyway. That is what the film's about. It comes with a terrible curse. Yeah. And we see Frank in this. He's basically in a box of candles, isn't he? Undoing the puzzle box. He's an extremely sweaty, naked, handsome man.
I forgot how sweaty he actually was. He was a sweaty mess, wasn't he?
And he's got these filthy, horrible fingernails, dirty fingernails.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It shows him when he take... Oh, it's gross.
Absolutely. Dirty fingernails can contain germs that can contribute to the spread of infections. They can also increase the risk of other nail diseases, including bacterial and fungal infections, ingrown nails, tumours and warts.
Warts.
Yeah. Some of the bacteria under nails can be found on the skin, like Staphylococcus, which can lead to an infection. You can transmit fingernail bacteria to your system by scratching, nail biting, nose picking, and finger sucking.
Oh, I can bite my nails.
Which, there's some finger sucking goes on later in this film.
There really does, eh?
It's a very fucking horny film with some not very attractive looking people.
I know, totally.
Isn't it? Like, they've taken basically some really, really character actor looking actors and tried to make them sexy.
Aye. Yeah, and they're good. I mean, they're good actors. Let's face it.
Oh, they're fucking brilliant.
So I think that was the thing. He wanted to, Clive Barker wanted to differentiate this with other horrors by using proper actors instead of just mundane, run-of-the-mill. Yeah.
Absolutely. On that subject, the film was going to have the same title as the novel, which is the Hellbound Heart.
Yeah.
But the studio hated it and said it sounded like a romance. So Baker offered up Sadomasochists from Beyond the Grave.
Nice.
Better title. They didn't want that either.
I'd have watched that.
And by the time you hear this episode, patrons, you'll have access to hearing me read the whole of the Hellbound Heart. Whilst off my nut on pain meds.
Nice.
Yeah. So remember, it only costs £1, but you can listen to me breaking copyright law and seeing if I get a cease and desist through the door at some point. It's bound to happen the more of these things I read.
Those memories are priceless.
There was 2 follow-ups as well to the Hellbound Heart, The Scarlet Gospels and 2018's Hellraiser Toll, which I'm not reading those either, but I'll read them. Every bit he opens causes these windows that aren't windows to open and creak like some sort of haunted pirate ship.
It's like the slats you used to get in proper built houses, remember? When
with the plaster over the slats. Yeah, very much so. All the lights come on. Almost someone's like pulling a blind up, isn't it? It's cheap, but it still looks good.
Yeah.
And when he finishes, these hooks come flying out of nowhere and into his skin that looks like pig skin.
It doesn't look.
I was expecting port scratchings to be at the end of it.
See what it is, because I was looking at the special effects. So it was a guy called Bob Keane done the special effects for this one, but he also done a lot of other. He done Event Horizon. Star Wars, Superman and Aliens, but he was also a makeup artist on Highlander. So
really?
It's all relative, big man. It's all relative.
Of course, mate. It all comes back to episodes we've done. The first ever 100 facts that we got was on Highlander.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the contender.
So it's got a special place in my heart.
Well, that and Clive Barker also wrote a short story for Candyman, didn't he?
He did, yeah, absolutely. And that, again, that's another one that's had like 3 sequels and a remake. Do you see the remake?
Yeah, I hated it at first, but I'm starting to warm to it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I liked how they flipped it.
Do you know? I just didn't like the fact that they took away from Tony Todd, but it's like, oh, we are all Candyman. No, Tony Todd's Candyman.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that.
I've let it go.
Yeah, spoilers for a 2-year-old film.
Oh.
It's not like us, is it? Usually we wait at least 30 years for a spoiler.
Exactly, but oh well. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. I'm Candyman, and so's my wife.
We're all Candymen, or Candy people, or Candy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to be careful.
Candy binary or Candy.
Don't dead Candy name me. I don't know. I'm not even thinking. This empty house is obviously where Frank was. There's loads of food spoiling in the kitchen, and upstairs is this attic room with all these chains and just bits of a torso. And the most hilarious ear, some arrows, a skull on this monolith thing, and for some reason my document has called them Cenobites walking through the room. Cenobites!
Yep,
Cenobites. Cenobites, yeah. It looks like they're collecting pieces of his body, which I absolutely didn't get at all.
Yeah.
Jigsaw of the face.
Put it together, yeah.
Which includes an eye on the face, which is not how eyes work. Like, it's just like a plastic mask, isn't it? Yeah. And the eye is part of it. That's how eyes work.
Real house, by the way.
Absolutely.
It still stands today.
In spite of it falling down in the film.
I know. Boom.
It's 186 Dollis Hill Lane, John.
Oh, I've got it 187. You must be using Google Maps, and I'm using Apple Maps.
I am definitely incorrect then, because I'm the one that's on the drugs.
Oh yeah,
it's on the drugs.
It's on the drugs.
Tell me you're not on the drugs, son.
It's on a skag.
But no sale prices for it on Rightmove. But number 203 went for $860,000 in 2023.
Oof,
It's
man.
been a long time since I've done right move facts, isn't it? You know we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Hoo-ha, zoopla!
Between 1978 and 1981, the murders of at least 9 people took place at 195 Melrose Avenue by everyone's third favourite British serial killer, Dennis Nilsen.
Yay!
It's a 20-minute walk from this house.
Kirsty's a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan.
She loves it. I'm more of a Peter Sutcliffe man myself.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I like the northern ones. And Fred. I was going to say Fred Dibner. The thing he murdered was chimneys.
That cat trying to get it through that chimney. Jesus Christ, it's been a while since I've heard that name.
Fred West, of course, is what I was trying to get at. Ah, dear.
It's too funny, mate. Fred Dibner.
One of the Cenobites is Pinhead. He's not called Pinhead in this, but through just like the word, like history, he's just become known as Pinhead because he got pins for head.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
That's it. It does exactly what it says on the face.
Yeah, so good at it though.
Yeah.
Consider what he looks like in real life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's such like a well-spoken little fella, isn't it?
Yeah. And nobody knew who he was at the rat party.
Oh really?
Yeah, so when he was doing filming, he would always either have makeup or hide for the crew. So when he came to the rat party, nobody knew who he was.
I assume he must have been in on a morning before anybody else, getting the makeup put on, and then everybody else comes in, and does a day, and then he's getting his makeup taken. Right, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because it has took the longest to put on, to be fair.
Yeah. Your name's not down, you're not coming in. Well, I'm Pinhead. Well, not yet, you aren't, mate.
I know.
Not for another 2 movies will you be referenced as Pinhead.
Won't play with your box.
Dick. So he picks up this box, this puzzle box that they call, and basically resets it. And everything vanishes except this swinging light bulb. I love a swinging light bulb.
Yeah.
It's something. It always makes for a good kind of trope in a horror film.
It really does, doesn't it?
I would not want a swinging light bulb in a fucking empty attic in my house.
Oh God, no! I've just gone down to the basement. There's a swinging light bulb. That's horrible.
Yeah. It's a cracking house, as you've said, John. I do have problems around this, which we're going to come to. But it's a properly, brilliantly built 30s British house.
Oh yeah, it's a cracking house.
Yeah, like my house, built in the 30s and looks it as well. Looks very specific. We've just had we've just had a wall knocked through, so you can enjoy that when you come and visit next week.
Yay!
Cenobites, John. Cenobite is a member of a religious order who lives in a monastic community or convent. Cenobites are bound by vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, like being married.
Jesus Christ,
the word Cenobite comes from the Latin word Cenobita, which is derived from the Greek word Kionbius, meaning conventual or living together.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go, Cenobite facts. The inspiration for them was punk fashion, Catholicism, and visits to S&M clubs in New York and Amsterdam.
It's got to be in it. It's got to be religion.
Of course it has.
It's got to be Catholics.
It always had to be the Catholics. We've got Julia and Larry, this husband and wife team. What did you know Larry out of, John?
Oh, mate, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, Cobra, this is Cobra all over again. Who's he going to shout at?
Yeah, Cobra and Dirty Harry, innit?
Yeah.
I forgot we'd done Cobra. It was so recently as well. Wasn't it? We did that with Paul. Didn't we? Yeah, we got Paul
as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it out there. He's the fucking best thing in this because he plays 2 completely different characters.
By far. Yeah.
And he's just him. He's fucking great.
Yeah, no, he's good.
He really is great. They're trying to get into the house. The complaint is, we'll just break our way in and we'll get the lock changed. How much to get a lock changed, John? Check a trade suggests a Yale lock in Glasgow for 80 to 120 quid.
What?
Alternatively, just get Tam doing the road. He'll break in for 25 notes.
I was going to say that. Bloody hell. I could do it cheaper.
I was going to say just wrap your hand and put it through the glass, but I'm not very good at that at the minute.
That's the bill for the medical bill and for the locksmith.
The medical bill. NHS, bruv. NHS. Save it. Keep it.
I thought you went boop away on this Patron money you're getting.
Indeed. Now, Julia is British and Larry is American, and this house, John, is somewhere on Earth.
Yes.
But it's such a fucking mystery. But we're supposed to believe it's somewhere in America, but we're all much smarter than that, aren't we, listeners? And we know this is not America, no matter how much the film tries to convince us it is.
They really do, don't they?
Like, mate, so much. When they get in the house, it turns out it was Larry's mum's house. And Frank, he of the bits of face upstairs, are brothers. Larry tells us that when Mum died, he wanted to sell, but Frank was using it as some sort of hidey hole. The place, of course, is utterly disgusting. It needs completely cleared out to the very minimum. Larry explains Frank would never turn money away and is probably behind bars anyway, so they're just going to sell it. Julia hated Brooklyn, where they previously lived, and they've obviously gone through some problems. So now he suggests, his words, you're back on your own turf. So what? Britain?
Exactly. I know. So...
We're in London. Yet we're still supposed to believe that this is the States. So I don't know, New Jersey? They've taken the turnpike. The tunnel. Lovely house. I think I might have mentioned it already. But Julia, I fall out with Julia instantly here because she puts a fag out on the parquet flooring in the house. And she stamps it out and fuck, mate.
Nah, that's
mate, of all the horrors in this film, as a homeowner, that was the biggest for me.
No, mine was the boiler in the bathroom.
The big clanking
I
boiler.
didn't think that was a thing. It turns out it is.
Huge pilot light at the bottom with the gap.
Did you notice
it?
Jesus.
I did, mate. Yeah, me and my dad took a lot of those out in one summer when Dad had a council contract for a few weeks to take out and replace boilers in council bungalows. I think they were in Nottingham, and it was just I straight away I just got visions of that.
Yeah, that's because I've never seen. Well, I've not seen it. But I've checked it. It's not unheard of. But apparently they're saying it's one of the better places to have it. But I'm not convinced.
In the kitchen,
and
I guess
no, they had it in the bathroom.
Oh, in the bathroom. Sorry, yeah. Oh no, I've seen them in bathrooms. Yeah, absolutely.
No, never seen.
But you get them a lot in. I mean, ours is in the back bedroom, which is next to the bathroom.
Right.
It makes perfect sense. It's just there's not really enough room in the modern bathroom for one, I guess.
Yeah,
unless you've got an airing cupboard.
In the kitchen. Well, the airing cupboard, I remember in Pork, I say the boiler, it was the immerser. Remember that big thing that was cladded in bloody... Oh, God.
Mate, fucking hell.
Takes you back.
Old men remember plumbing.
A big red parachute, that's what it looked like every time I looked at it, like a big red parachute in the bloody cupboard.
Two teddies in the airing cupboard, which one's in the army?
What one?
The one in the tank.
Oh.
Yeah, you see. Again, jokes that don't make any sense. Like jokes that just don't work anymore. I mean, it wasn't funny in the 80s. It's certainly not funny now. Anyway, more of those. Never, hopefully. She heads up the stairs to have a look around, and Larry gets a jump scare in the kitchen because maggots? ?
I know. What's that all about?
It's not really a jump scare. You know, I see stuff like this every day.
And cockroaches as well.
Oh yeah, cockroaches.
There's no cockroaches over here. Cockroach.
Oh no, there is. They do exist, but you have to be a very, very dirty place.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, trust me, mate. They exist.
Because they had the maggot wrangler apparently. Whatever.
Get out!
A maggot wrangler and a cockroach
wrangler.
Wrangler.
Mrs. Mangler.
This is that not a Robert Englund film? The Mangler.
The Mangler. Upstairs in one of the bedrooms, Julia finds a mattress on the floor and what's left of Frank's belongings, including this very suggestive, sexy statue.
Oh, yeah.
Which I assume is made out of ivory or something horrible. Yeah. We hear the phone ringing, and Larry's like, "What's that?" It's a phone, Larry.
I know.
They ring. But whoever's been paying the bills has paid to keep the phone on.
Mm-hmm. Aye. Yeah, that's right. Everything still works.
Yeah. Julia finds pictures of Frank doing sexy things.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Frank.
there's some really, really naughty stuff in these pictures.
Yeah,
It's like those playing cards I had when I was 12.
Yeah.
That I got off a mate. I got grounded for a week when
they got found.
them. I never know what happened to them, actually. I certainly didn't throw them away, though.
Certainly not.
Day old boy.
Playing strip poker with yourself.
On the phone is Kirsty, who is their daughter, or his daughter and her stepdaughter. Yeah. And she's explaining she found a room somewhere to stay. He says he hoped that she'd come and stay with them in the horror house. She explains to him she needs to find a job, and he says not to worry, it's just a gesture. We'll take care of the money. But Kirsty's like, no, it's something I want to do. I was like, oh, she's got a proper job.
Aye.
We'll keep what her job is till a little bit later on. It's not the best job in the world. No. She says, I'll call you tomorrow. Upstairs, Julia's stashing some of the sexy photos in a handbag because she's a pervert.
Yep.
She agrees that they'll stay in the house again because it's free? ?
Probably.
I'm not sure. And now it's Sunday. They're unpacking, and they've got these two blokes to help them move a mattress upstairs.
It got a bit straw dogs a bit, didn't it? I was like, whoa,
it
what's happening
does
here?
a little bit, yeah. He was an extra in Straw Dogs. It's really weird because you can hear church bells, so it's obviously Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. Yet they get like halfway through the door with the mattress, and one of them goes, "Hey, have you got a beer?"
I know, dubbed over as well. That was dubbed.
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
Yeah.
What's the point?
It's obviously how you know it's Britain because he wants a beer at 10:30 in the morning.
Aye. Get yourself down the Haddos, man.
If we didn't know it was Britain, we do now because we catch Kirsty walking down the Thames. That's right, she's at fucking Docklands, and behind her is, of course, famous London landmark, Battersea Power Station.
I know, fucking destination Docklands.
Brooklyn Power Station.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about it!
I think Jean Michel Jarre was there as well, wasn't he?
A Battersea Power Station, John, coal-fired and decommissioned between 1975 and 83 and became a listed building in 1980. The 14th of October 2022, they opened a new shopping high street in there with an underground station and 254 apartments, and it won Garden of the Year Award 2024 of the Society of Garden Designers.
What?
Which we both knew was a thing before this podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's avid fans.
International listeners will, of course, know it from Pink Floyd's 1977 album cover of Animals, which shows a power station with an inflatable pink pig floating above it. It was tethered to one of the power station's southern chimneys, but broke loose of its moorings and drifted into the flight path at Heathrow Airport.
Boo! That's a bad move, isn't it?
Yeah. It's also been used in Children of Men and The Dark Knight.
Aye. No, it's iconic, man. Mm-hmm. It really is. And Jean Michel Jarre's Destination Docklands. It's one of the best concerts ever.
I'll let you have that one.
It was raining and he still performed.
Jesus.
He could have sent somebody's eye out with the bloody lasers, you know. But
a prism. Who made prisms with all the wet? Kirsty arrives at the house and we see it from the outside for the first time. And it's basically British Amityville Horror House, isn't it?
It really is.
It absolutely looks like in there somewhere there's somebody going, "Get out!"
I know. It really does.
And lots of flies. Oh, well, there was the maggots, so the flies are about to come.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was filmed in this house, by the way. They used the interior of the house to film, except for the attic, which was a soundstage.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine the cramped kind of... I don't know, it's big. I know it's a big, big house. But you get that sense when they're kind of in the kitchen and the bathroom, and then that little spare room which is next to the attic room upstairs that she goes and hides in.
Aye. Even on the stairwell.
When Frank's chasing.
In the stairwell, it's quite tightly shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I've got to be honest, the house is, again, one of the best characters in the whole film. Mm-hmm. The house is, without the house, it's better than the house in House. In my opinion.
What?
Not the Doctor, man, but the film House.
The House?
Which is actually about a house.
Ding dong. I prefer the second one.
But not as, I was going to say, not as good as the house in House 2. You do all the work.
No, I know.
She squeezes past one of the guys with the mattress, And he turns with this American accent and says, "Hey, this must be my lucky day." Chugs down a Budweiser. And I'm kind of like, what?
I know.
She explains to Larry that she likes the house, and he tells her to go easy on Julia because she struggles moving house. Don't we fucking all?
I know, it's one of the most stressful times. You should know that.
The house move guy says, "Is that your daughter? She's got a mother's looks." He's like, "Her mother's dead."
Oh, aye, that's a conversation killer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a fucking boner killer, isn't it? Upstairs, looking at her photos, Julia's daydreaming that Frank arrives. He's soaking wet from the rain outside, and he introduces her. "I'm Brother Frank, and I've come for the wedding." I assume he's conducting the wedding if he's a brother. Although it does look black, you know. He asks for a towel, and we catch Kirsty now asking for a towel. But of course, Julia is miles away, and she heads upstairs to the attic room. Just ignores her, like stands on the landing
so
where
weird.
she can't see her. It's fucking horrible.
It's such a weird interaction. I'm sure she see her? Did she see her? That's a bit weird. I can't.
Yeah, it is strange. She would see her because that bit of landing is not directly underneath her. Mm-hmm. That's fucking so strange. Famous brother Frank's John Giovanni da Pietro del Bernardone, otherwise known as Francis of Assisi, was an Italian mystic, poet, and Catholic friar who founded the religious order of the Franciscans.
What?
On the 13th of March 2013, upon his election as Pope, Archbishop and Cardinal George Mario Bergoglio of Argentina chose Francis as his papal name in honour of Francis of Assisi, becoming, as we all know, Pope Francis.
There you go.
And there you go.
And the other famous one is Frankie Howard. He was never at the
I think he was an only child, though, Frankie Howard, wasn't he? So
Monk's robes, wasn't he? He's never at the Monk's robes.
So I just remember him at the orgy. Half-time, change ends. Something about that. Oh. Why I remember that specifically, I have no idea.
You're
that is honestly that, and just all the you know. Maybe I should watch a couple of episodes of Up Pompeii. I assume it's aged terribly.
Aye, oh god, it's on one of that's entertainment channels all the time, and it's
Oh, is it?
Worth a watch though. I might actually go back.
Yeah. Worth half an hour of your time, I guess.
Once I finish Rab Scene but I'm going to that.
Inside the attic room, she hears these whispering voices and sees that the window's been papered over. And back in her fantasy, Frank asks if he can kiss the bride. She's in a wedding dress or something.
Yeah.
Traces her lips. So at no point is it mentioned that they're getting married. I assumed they were married. Mm-hmm. I don't fucking know. It's like Marge Simpson dreaming about that book she's reading, you know, Love on the High Seas or whatever it is.
No, but I don't think, because to me, if you look at it, it just looks as if she's, it's a memory, because her hair's, they try to make her look younger, because her hair's bigger.
Oh, it is, yeah. That's a good point. It's weird. He traces her lips with his index finger and then snogs her chin. Like, puts his entire mouth over her chin.
It's just a bad aim, innit? It's just a bad aim. Maybe they did that go out and drag me to hell.
Oh, we've all done it.
She's sucking her bottom of her lip. Oh! God, that's horrible.
She fantasises about him roughly undressing her on a wedding night, and they get it on. It's arguably, listener, less sexy than those romantic sexy novels that I've read out on the Patron. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not sexy, but I guess at least somebody's trying.
Giving it a go. Giving it a go.
Downstairs, Larry snags his hand on this nail, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got my foot on a spike! And literally this week I feel his pain.
Yeah.
He heads into the room, bleeding everywhere, and Julia looks at it and goes, "Is it deep? It's fucking pissing blood."
Oh, it's pissing out. Isn't it? Jesus.
All over the floorboards. And I'm like, oh, no. No. Fake blood, John. Unbelievably, you can buy Revlon fake blood.
What? Really?
Revlon makeup fake blood.
Jesus Christ.
£3 from Superdrug.
Man. No.
Mate, there's money in all this Halloween shite.
Halloween sorted.
Do you know what I mean? She says it's going to need stitches. As they head out to the hospital, the blood oozes into the floorboards. And below it forms this small beating heart.
Yeah, that's great.
Which looked really, really good on the 4K, I've got to be honest.
No, it still
Even though
good,
the fact that, as I learned watching the documentary, it was made out of a condom, a bit of piping, and some plastic.
There you go. It's amazing.
They fucking MacGyvered Frank Hart, didn't they? The three of them head to the hospital. Meanwhile, in the attic, the floorboards start to come up. This looks great. Mm-hmm. The nails come out, and it even scares the rats off, and the nail holes ooze blood. And then this fucking bone comes up to make this skeleton creature.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That
Which
looks good.
has some basic organs and the ability to make a screamy noise.
His name out.
This is scary. This model here is scary.
Yeah.
This would have shit me up for years if I'd seen this at the age of 7.
No, that's the bit my sister kept talking about. Is the bit. Ooh.
Yeah, this would have fucking done for me at that age. It was made, so basically you see it kind of all coming together, the bones and all the bits coming together. And it was made by breaking a model down and then reversing the thing, so all the bits kind of went backwards. And obviously some really good editing and some stop motion stuff. Really, really good. Downstairs at a dinner party full of Americans, for some reason, Larry, Julie, Kirsty and all of their American friends, who definitely live in America and are absolutely not from London, are laughing and joking. The son of which does this cigarette under his tongue move and pops it back out like it's the 20s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, and that's meant to be
cool,
impressive. Like, that impresses her.
Yeah. Get a switchblade, and that'll be him. The matching set. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. He's obviously some sort of pervert and trying to get Kirsty drunk. I won't be able to stand up. He says, well, why don't you just lie down then?
Aye. That's a Richie Rich move, isn't it?
It is very much so. And I was kind of like, I know what's going to happen here the first time I watched this, and it didn't. I assumed he was going to be another bad one. I assumed that every man's awful in this.
Oh, no. Yeah.
The only non-awful man in this is Pinhead and Butterball. And the Chatterer. Is the Chatterer male? Who knows?
God knows. Good point.
Who knows?
As a male that plays him, but I bet.
Yeah. Julia heads upstairs after making her excuses. We know where she's going. In the attic, she hears the voices once again, whispering. Once she opens the door, silence. The only noise is a beating heart. She crosses the floor and she's grabbed by the skeletal creature, which calls out her name. Don't look at me. It's basically Darkman.
I know. Don't look at me.
He says, I'm Frank and I need your help. He explains the blood on the floor brought him back and he needs more blood. Don't they always need more blood, John?
More blood.
It's always about the
blood. Yeah, they can't fucking just stop, can they?
Blood. Kirsty makes her way up the stairs on the way to the bathroom. She sees Julie at the entrance to the attic room, preventing her getting in, and she says goodnight. Pervert boys walking Kirsty home. Mm-hmm. They pass by some old tramp in a doorway, non-union Mackenzie crook.
So as I...
Kirsty explains to the pervert that Julie is polite and frigid. He says, we're not all frigid, and then they start copping off in this train station. At what point did he ever seem frigid? Do you know what I mean? No. And by the way, this train goes past with all the British Rail stuff on the side of it. I was like, come on.
I never seen that.
Stop trying to convince us he's American. Julia's having dreams of Frank while he sits oozing in the attic. She heads up and explains that yes, she'll help him. Kirsty has this weird dream where there's a child crying underneath a sheet covered in blood and feathers. Mm-hmm. She wakes up screaming, which wakes up Pervert Boy, who strangely she's made sleep in a separate bed in the bedroom.
Why not?
Good on her.
Aye.
Good on her. Yeah.
Good moral English standards.
Yes, yeah, even though everyone in it's American.
Oh shit! I saw American standards. Yeah. They failed me. No, they never.
She's concerned about Larry, so she calls him, and he says he's fine, and they agree to speak tomorrow. As he walks back up the stairs, he tells Julia Kirsty had a bad dream, and on the landing above is skeletal Frank, who whispers to himself, "Kirsty."
No.
Fucking hell.
Weirdo. Get a job.
Yeah, so fucking hiding out in the attic. All flowers in the attic. The next day, Julia heads out for some reason dressed like Odo out of Beetlejuice.
I know shit.
Or Mike out of The Young Ones. Couldn't quite figure it out. It looks like she's got some sort of upmarket funeral. It's a death of some Pinewood director or something.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Like it's not exactly business dress, but it's a bit weird. No.
She gets talking to this guy in this bar, by the way. It looks like the milk bar out of Clockwork Orange. The way it's lit. It's weird. And he's non-union Phil Collins, this guy. They have a few drinks, and she takes him back to the house. He says, "Oh, it's not often I do this." He kisses her, but she pulls away, and he gets really angry at her for absolutely nothing, doesn't he? Because he's a fucking man. And they head up to the attic room. He says, "Oh, this isn't the bedroom." And she says, "Well, we don't need a bed, do we? I've always preferred the floor." She asks non-union Phil Collins to get undressed because no jacket required.
Yeah.
He gets down to his little white Y-fronts and goes to leave the room for a piss, but the door's locked. And then he turns around and Julia's got a hammer.
Aye, just fucking whammered right in the face.
Oh, it's fucking hammer time, all right.
Aye.
Innit?
Goes to town.
She gives him it, and then Frank emerges from the shadows. "Don't look at me, Petra Sutcliffe."
Don't look. Aye.
She leaves and cleans herself up in the bathroom.
Oh, man.
When she returns to the attic, she sees the corpse is even more of a bloody state, and Frank's got some muscle and flesh on these bones. He beckons her over so he can touch her. "Come to daddy."
Oh.
Oh, no. No. Again, talk about sealing up that vagina for life.
What version did you watch? Because apparently when it was going through the for certification, they wanted to take out bits where skin was getting penetrated by fingers. Have you read about this?
Yes.
At one point in your
No. Mine's definitely the theatrical version. There was two versions on the. It's a 2-disc set. There's two versions.
Right.
But yeah, it was the theatrical one that I watched. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I have a list of this somewhere here, John, of the things that they wanted to that they cut out.
Aye. Yeah. On my version, they had some skin penetration, though.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
What, she's putting her fingers into his...
No, he's got one of his victims and it shows him putting his fingers into him to draw his life out or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, no, I never got that because I've written whatever at one point, whatever he fucking does. He's eating them or whatever he does. It's something I've written at one point.
Sticking his fingers into one.
Absolutely no fucking idea what he does to get them. Yeah, it's weird. When I find that bit on my notes, I'll go through the list of things that I know that they took out for a cinematic release in the US.
Cool.
At that point, Larry arrives, so Julia has to get rid of what's left of the corpse. So some sort of Scooby-Doo slapstick scene. She leaves one room and he goes into the other. There's too many stairs and rooms in this house. It's unacceptable.
No, definitely. Agreed.
She's hiding in the bathroom and tells him that she's feeling sick. "Anything I can get you? Can I get a brandy?" "Right away." Because famously, brandy fixes your stomach? ?
Well, I was looking at this. As soon as you said brandy, I just think of St. Bernard. So I double-checked. The monks in St. Bernard's Hospice deny that any St. Bernard has casks of small barrels of brandy around their necks. So I was just double-checking that wasn't a thing.
I fucking love how your brain works. I really do. That is delightful, John. That is my fact of the show, just for the jump that you've made, if nothing else. I hope you appreciate the work this man does for you, lot listeners.
Man, it just kicks it. As soon as it said brandy, I thought it was St. Bernard. I don't know.
I thought,
Beethoven.
Unsurprisingly, I could do with a drink, but you instantly thought.
Beethoven.
But him and Snorbits. Who was the bloke with Snorbits? Bernie Winters. Bernie Winters and Snorbits.
Jesus.
Again, references for nobody.
Nope, nobody wants to hear this.
Absolutely nobody.
Stew and Spit the Dog. Oh, we've got hundreds of them.
There's somebody at the door. She heads back in to see Frank. And he's even further becoming human again. He tells her he needs 2 more and he'll be completely human before... Again, Google translators called them Cenobites. Fucking John Cena.
Well,
they must be because you can't see them. He slipped them, but he has to leave the house and can only do so once he's complete again. So, like Atomic Kitten, she can make him whole again. He tells her that she needs to help him so that they can be together like in the fantasies. They belong together. She belongs to him now. I don't know about you, John, but I wouldn't be that tempted to believe a man who was melted out of the floorboards a day earlier when he tells me he loves me.
Aye, yeah.
But look, I'm not fucking victim shaming. Love is love. Do you know what I mean?
He's referring to himself as daddy. Oh.
Come to daddy.
Daddy wanna fuck. R.I.P. Dennis Hopper.
R.I.P. Dennis Hopper. And actually they drink Budweiser in this, not Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, one of your favourites.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Absolutely is. It looks like Kirsty's day job is working at the pet shop out of the Dead Parrot sketch in Monty Python.
It really is, isn't it?
This woman's trying to return this Norwegian blue lovely plumage. The plumage, don't come into it. Mackenzie Crook Hobo's in the shop eating a handful of crickets.
Yeah, fucking noisy cricket. Get in there.
Of course, full of protein, so he's doing all right for himself.
Aye. It's Renfield, isn't it? Get in there.
Very much so, yeah. She chases him out of the shop. Pervert boy arrives, and Kirsty tells him there's something weird going on. Back at the house, the next lad to get franked is Stan from that Eminem song. You know the video for Stan. I wrote you, Uncle Frank, but you still ain't calling. He asks if they're going to be alone. Of course, why? He says, I just like to be careful. Smash cut to him getting absolutely fucking flung about the room by Frank. And she's sitting on the sofa menacingly drinking a G&T. Which is exactly how I like my G&T. Frank is now almost complete, and he's got a cigarette, which he says he can taste for the first time. It's the first time he's tasted anything in a long time. And she's given him a shirt. What colour shirt has she given him, John?
Oh, white. It's going to be white, isn't it?
I mean, he's blood and no skin. Mm-hmm. And she's just gone, have a white shirt. And it's just fucking covered in blood.
Right. Well,
like Tim Roth in Reservoir Dogs, isn't it?
It must be her favourite colour, because every time she kills somebody that splatters, she's always wearing that silk white blouse.
Oh, the blouse? Yeah, she is.
So I double checked. In the 80s, popular fabrics were velour, velvet and polyester. Velour.
John, this is filling me with utter joy ahead of next week's chat about Shrek. Saturday. He holds the puzzle box and explains it offers pleasure and pain beyond limits. We see them all properly now for the first time. Chatterer, Butterball, the fantastically named The Female Cenobite.
Yeah.
And Pinhead, who hasn't got a name. We get a shot of Frank hanging upside down from some chains from earlier on. Mm-hmm. He explains to Julia they won't get him back, that she'll help, and they won't find them. She's like, not in the whole wide world of sports.
Oh.
What in the whole wide world of sports is going on here? Later, Julia and Larry are watching boxing. I thought this whole thing made you feel sick. Oh, I've seen worse, she says.
I know, I'll bet.
I've been fingered by worse, she says.
I've tried to look up what boxing match it was, but I couldn't find it.
You know, usually I would kind of do that as well, because it looks heavyweight, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I couldn't see it. Couldn't get it.
Or super heavy. Upstairs, Frank's punching the walls. Obviously, he thinks he's in the boxing match, for whatever reason. And generally misbehaving. There's a thunderstorm outside. Larry hears this and heads upstairs. Julia stops him. And he's like, what are you so afraid of? It's the thunder. I hate thunderstorms. She tries to stop him by ravishing him, but that doesn't work.
I know, fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
He heads up to the attic where there's nothing, except the rats from earlier on, which have now been nailed to the wall.
Nice touch.
It's fucking gruesome, that.
Aye. It's a sense of warning to the other rats, though, doesn't it?
Come to Splinter.
Aye.
He ushers her into the bedroom and closes the door. He's really getting into it, but she's not having a great time. Gets her on the bed. She looks around for Frank, who emerges from this wardrobe with a flick knife. Mm-hmm. And from her proselytations, doesn't kill Larry. But she's going, no, please, no, I can't bear it. Don't, no, stop.
Imagine
don't
somebody
do
saying
it.
that while you're hammering away. You'd be like, I don't think she's
Mate, I would
this.
cut my fucking knob off if that's exactly what happened when I was trying to police somebody. Not a chance. Frank strangely decides to peel a rat with the knife.
Yeah.
You know, like when someone menacingly peels an apple with a knife.
Yeah, he does it with a rat.
Yeah, he does it with a rat. Didn't really get what's going on there. Kirsty and Larry are having a succulent Chinese meal, by the way. I was quite into this. He's explaining Julia doesn't even want to leave the house anymore. It's like she's waiting for something, but I don't know what. It's been like me this week. I know I've not been leaving the house because I'm like this. Every day this week there's been fucking parcels arriving at our house. And even if I could go out, I've not been able to. Maybe she needs someone to talk to. Why don't you come round and make friends with her? I'm like, she stands on fucking landings pretending you're not there.
I know, that's a bit...
I'd be like, listen, Dad, cut her fucking loose before she ends up sleeping with your dead brother on her wedding day or something. I couldn't tell you. Back in the house, Frank explains that Julia doesn't love Larry, but she refuses to let him kill his brother. Then find me somebody else before the Cenobites get me. Julia now ushers in non-union John Major.
Yeah, it was, isn't it?
Or Eric from Brushstrokes. I wasn't entirely sure which one it was.
Better stretch.
Kirsty's watching them from the end of the drive because they're just not paying attention. In the attic room, she hammers the poor bastard, and Frank eats him, or whatever the fuck Frank does.
Yeah.
He's like, help me! Help me! Try and be more moderate than Margaret Thatcher. Possibly. Julia hides in a spare room as Kirsty wanders around, only for the victim, or what's left of him, try and leave the attic. Falls out of the attic, doesn't he? It's a really good mask, this.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Uncle Frank grabs Kirsty and explains who he is. You remember me? I'm your Uncle Frank. Come to Daddy. You've grown. You're beautiful. There's nothing to be afraid of. I bet you make your daddy so proud, don't you, beautiful? He explains enduring pain is what makes pleasure so sweet. She rips a pile of guts out of him and then grabs the puzzle box. He demands that she gives him the box. You want it? You fucking have it. And she throws it out the window. It's brilliant. And out into the street below.
No.
We see her staggering down the street before she collapses holding the puzzle box. You know she's in America because she wakes up and one of these lads has got a New York Yankees hat
Oh,
on.
yeah.
And it's the 80s. It's before Fred Durst was wearing them. So.
Aye. There's chain link fences everywhere as well, aren't there?
Yeah. Yeah. She wakes up in this hospital bed. Non-union Lionel Richie's the doctor.
Hello.
That's exactly what he's there to say, John. He's there to say hello, and you're not leaving this room. I assume you're not leaving this room is the B-side to that particular
That's that.
He shows her the puzzle box and asks what it is. She says she doesn't remember, but that the police will want to speak to her. She's left in the room with the puzzle box, which she fucks about with, and eventually solves, causing the wall of the hospital room to open up.
Open, yeah.
Yeah, she walks along this massive corridor out of Labyrinth.
Aye.
Isn't she?
The dodgy version.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Only to be stopped by this giant creature. It's got loads of legs, it's very eldritch horror, and it chases her down the corridor. She makes it to the room and the wall slams shut on the monster, but you can kind of still hear it screaming beyond the wall.
Yeah.
The TV set in the room goes to static. Second episode in a row, John, we've had static.
Static, yeah.
And the light bulbs explode, and for some reason the drip that she's got all of a sudden fills with blood.
Blood. Yeah. Always happens.
Yeah, it's regular. A hospital drip, or known as an IV, intravenous fluid therapy, is a way to deliver fluids and medications directly into a patient's bloodstream. The contents of an IV drip can vary depending on the treatment being administered, but it typically contains water, electrolytes, and glucose. Electrolytes, John. It's what Cenobites crave.
I knew you were going to go there. I
Yeah,
could feel
you
it.
knew
I
I
could
was
feel
gonna-
it.
You knew it was. Chatterer appears. For some reason, wants to put his fingers down her throat. I don't really know what's going on there.
Yeah, I think he had his own agenda there, to be honest.
He just doesn't want her to be chattering.
Aye.
Then Pinhead arrives. The box, you opened it, and we came. Ooh, sexy. It is a means to summon us. We are explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others. She explains it was a mistake. Go to hell. I think he says something like, we intend to, or something, doesn't he? He explains she has to go with them. No tears, please. It is a waste of good suffering.
That's a good line.
Yeah. She has a card up her sleeve, though. Uncle Frank, she offers him up as tribute.
Yep. Good call. Good call.
Yeah. Pinhead explains, if Frank confesses himself, then they might spare her. He explains that they may still tear your soul apart. It's great delivery. It's fantastic delivery. Back in the house, Frank and Julia are discussing what to do next. Kirsty is likely to call Larry and tell him. Just then, Larry arrives home. Julia agrees she's going to tell him. There was a bit here, I think he's kind of passing the kitchen at this point. And I spotted in the kitchen something I haven't thought about for years. Ajax Cleaner.
Oh,
remember Ajax Cleaner?
Ajax, wasn't it wasn't it Ajax?
Launched in,
Ajax.
Launched in 1947 by Colgate Palmolive Company. Ajax Laundry Care in November 2023 was acquired by Awesome Products Inc.
Ooh, that sounds fake.
What do they do? And that sounds like money laundering, absolutely. Not, of course, to be confused with HMS Ajax, which was a Leander-class light cruiser which served with the Royal Navy during World War II. She became famous for her part in the Battle on River Plate, the Battle of Crete, the Battle of Malta, and as a supply escort in the Siege of Tobruk.
I don't think anybody mistake it for that, though.
No, I think so. But that, of course, is not to be confused with War Rocket Ajax, which, of course, from Flash Gordon.
Nah.
The Flash Gordon wiki made me fucking laugh, by the way. It is literally just written as, War Rocket Ajax is apparently the only spaceship in Ming the Merciless's entire navy. It performs tasks as mundane as collecting dead bodies and as prestigious as transporting Ming himself. All right.
Nice.
Somebody's really fallen out with that film, haven't they, when they're writing that?
No shit. And also not to be mistaken with for Ajax from the Warriors.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Who is not to be confused, of course, with Amsterdam Football Club Ajax. Founded in 1900. They play at the Johan Cruyff Arena, John. In which country?
Oh, the Netherlands.
There it is. There it is.
I just need to get him somewhere. There's no music in here.
Managed to fucking squeeze it in somewhere. See? That's why they pay us the big bucks.
That's it, mate.
That's why they pay us the chunk.
You can't write this shit. Well, we don't write this shit, but we can't write this shit.
In the hospital room, the nurse and perv boy are looking for her, but of course, she's vanished. Right, we're almost there now, listeners. In the house, Frank is now complete, and we see them both at it. Kirsty arrives and hammers on the door. Julia answers and lets her in. She wants to see Larry. Upstairs, Larry is there. His hair's covered in blood. So he's obviously not himself. I wasn't sure if this was a Larry mask. Or if he'd taken on...
That has last likeness.
He looks like Larry. But why does he look like Larry and not John Major or Phil Collins?
Maybe it was the last layer.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, just there. So, maybe his arms, he's really good at drumming.
Aye.
And maybe he's also really good at, moderate prime ministership.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, yeah. And writing letters whilst locking his girlfriend in the basement. I don't really know what was going on in that Stan song. It's like 25 years ago. I can't remember a thing about it.
I just know
something about his mum's spaghetti.
It was bad.
Yeah. Mum's spaghetti, which is what Frank's guts looked like earlier on. Now, this is where Andrew Robinson comes into his absolute fucking best, by the way. He explains that Frank's upstairs, and they tell her that Frank's dead. We had to put him out of his misery. He was insane. He's better off dead. And it's great because he's gone from being this really mild-mannered guy to being this
badass,
seething kind of... Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's good.
Kirsty wants to see Frank's body. So Julia goes upstairs and shows a steaming corpse in the attic. And then the Cenobites appear. Pinhead says they want the man who did this and points to the corpse. She says, no, you can't have my dad, and makes a run for it. Ashley runs downstairs. Julia tries to grab her. And Larry Frank explains, they could all be happy here. Come to daddy, come to daddy. And she then realises it's not her dad, but it's Frank.
Bye.
As he goes to grab her, she scratches his face. Frank takes his flip knife and goes to stab her, but she gets away. Instead, he stabs Julia.
Yeah.
And feeds off of her life force.
Falls through, aye. No bother.
Yeah, and like she just melts into some old crone, doesn't she? Like wizened old thing. It's pretty good makeup again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Frank heads up the stairs, and Kirsty's hiding in this little tiny spare room. As he's about to walk into the attic, she makes a clatter, and instead he heads in to investigate. The spare room's where they leave all the corpses, because one of them falls forward. Just maggots pile out of its mouth. It's great.
They were wrangled, by the way, those maggots.
Oh, were they? Were they wrangled by the wrangler?
Aye, the mangler.
The ragged mangler. What kind of jeans did he wear? Levi's.
Oh, I was going to say Levi's as well, but you stole it.
Farrah jeans.
No, it's
Farrah
Cooper jeans. Everybody goes to
Cooper
that,
jeans. Cooper jeans. Yeah. Frank leaves the room, and as he does, Kirsty's sobbing uncontrollably. On the landing, the attic door opens, and Frank emerges, pulling his flick knife. Kirsty falls into the attic room at the feet of her father's corpse. Everything's all right. Frank's here. Your dear old Uncle Frank. Just then, the lights start to come through the attic walls, like at the beginning, and the Cenobites arrive. Mm-hmm. The chains fly out of the spinny obelisk as well. They had to basically hear it from his own lips. But now that they have, they send Kirsty out the room. And as she's leaving, Frank goes to attack her. But the chains and hooks start attaching themselves and stretch his body and face beyond all recognition.
Like that picture you always love to put up.
I put that all the time. I fucking reply to that for everything. Only Frank lips his contorted lips, doesn't he? No. Jesus wept. And it just fucking explodes.
Aye.
It's great. And I'm going to say, this is where this should have ended.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
It should have ended here. Mm-hmm. She should have done something with the box. They should have just gone, yeah, all right, we got our man, thanks very much.
Aye,
but for some reason, they continue to chase her. I don't know. I'm sure there's a fucking reason for it, but it doesn't really work for me.
No.
She gets stopped by the female Cenobite, heads into Julia and Dad's bedroom to find Julia's corpse chained to the bed holding the puzzle box. She grabs it out of her dead hands and starts fiddling with it. We have such sights to show you, says Pinhead. I assume he means lemonparty.com.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. She resets the puzzle box and screams, go to hell. The Cenobites, kind of one after another, explode in electric cartoons, which I think looks really good. But
everybody hated it.
Because apparently they'd run out of money. They'd run out of money in time.
Somebody had to actually manually do it, so apparently it was...
But I like it. I think it looks good.
Aye. Yeah. It's very Highlander-esque.
It is very Highlander-esque. Good point. The house starts to fall apart. The pervy boyfriend arrives and is about to get stabbed by a butterball when basically a support beam and a ton of rubble falls on him.
Yeah.
So they can only be killed by shutting the box, but he can be murdered by fucking lintels.
A joist, aye. He's just been joisted.
As they go out the front door, the huge eldritch monster from the hospital's there waiting for them. He looks like Bilal all grown up and out of his basket.
Yeah. No, totally.
Kirsty manages to fully reset the puzzle box and the thing vanishes. They emerge from what's left of the house and the door slams behind them. Just then, the house burns down, ? Extremely suddenly.
Yeah.
Because it's just like piles of fire in the drive where the house used to be. She throws the puzzle box.
Doesn't it look like the same place, does it?
No, it's not. It's a lockdown on the docks. This, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they paid a longshoreman £20 to look the other way for an hour. Kirsty throws the puzzle box into some fire, and Mackenzie Crook Hobo arrives and just casually walks into the fire to grab the puzzle box.
Yeah.
So not only do we have a man on fire, which I love, he all of a sudden becomes some sort of demon pterodactyl.
Yeah, like a dragon.
And vanishes with the
box.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the devil?
Sure.
He's the devil.
Oh, he's the devil. Right, okay. The devil, Randy. Back in another Eastern market, there's another guy buying the box and the same slightly racist caricature that runs the store. And that is the movie.
And that's the end of that chapter.
And that is the end of that great chapter. I'm glad we're back to doing good films because I did think this was great.
No, it was good. It was good to watch. Hard for facts, but good to watch.
Absolutely. Any other facts, Jim?
Yeah.
I got loads, by the way. I've still got tons.
Yeah. So it was Clive Barker's directorial debut. He'd done 2 short films, but this was his proper film. I didn't know this, but Clive Barker was born in Liverpool. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Hey.
Hey,
it's a puzzle box, like, eh?
They do, don't they? Some of the actors, we've already mentioned that they were dubbed into American to appeal to the American film goers. The average adult has approximately 21 square feet of skin, which weighs 7 pounds and contains more than 100 mils of blood vessels. So we're just double checking that. So there was tea at one point. Was there tea? Aye, there's tea. So I was looking at who the biggest tea drinkers are. So it's Turkey, Ireland, and the United Kingdom per person. So it's in China, obviously, because the amount of people. It's
so it's per capita kind of thing.
Per capita, yeah. But definitely Turkey, Ireland, and the UK are the world's biggest tea drinkers, and that's what I've got.
Okay. When he was 3, Clive Barker witnessed the French skydiver Leo Valentin plummet to his death during a performance at an air show in Liverpool.
Bloody Nora.
Maybe that explains it.
Americas.
Yeah. He directed this because his previous films of his work disappointed him. After this, it was Nightbreed, Eek, and Fave of Ours, John, Lord of Illusion.
Yeah, they didn't get the...
Yeah, I haven't thought about Lord of Illusion for a while.
Nah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while.
It's the worst Quantum Leap ever.
Yes, indeed. Right. We've done lock changes. We've done Batsy. The shot of Larry's blood seeping unnaturally through the floor was a simple reverse shot of red fluid being pumped up through rigged nail holes in the floorboard.
Yeah.
Liked that a lot.
That was good.
Oh, rated R in the States, but didn't get a release because they made the following cuts: consecutive hammer blows, fingers entering flesh, S&M spanking between Julia and Frank, and additional thrusts during the sex scene.
What? Too much thrusting. Bad.
I know.
Bang.
We've done drips. Come to Daddy, John. A song by Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
Remember him?
I remember
1997 release by Richard D. James. 2 first-name drum and bass wanker. 36 in the UK chart and 10 in the Denmark track listen chart. Got loads on this because it kind of loops. The video was named #1 video of the 90s by Pitchfork magazine and was filmed on the same council estate where Stanley Kubrick shot many scenes of A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, nice.
In Thames Mead.
Right.
And here's the really interesting connection. The director of the video, a chap called Chris Cunningham, was later headhunted by Kubrick to design and supervise animatronic tests of the robot child in AI.
What?
Which, of course, was Kubrick's last film.
Jesus.
Furthermore, he did model work on Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Right. Ooh.
He also won the award for Best Special Effects at the 1998 MTV Music Video Awards for Madonna's Frozen.
Really?
Which is a great video. Yeah, you know the one where she just collapses and turns into ravens?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I mean, let it go.
Oh, see what you did there.
Jesus Wept John was originally written as Fuck You.
Yeah.
But Andrew Robinson recommended the change because he's a good Catholic boy. The Chatterer and Butterball Cenobites had dialogue in the original script. However, when their makeup made coherent speech impossible, their lines were given to the female Cenobite and Pinhead, which helped cement his reputation in the film's trademark character. Doug Bradley was also offered the Mattress Mover, or Pinhead, and luckily for him, he took the latter as his first ever big screen credit.
Jesus.
But he says on the documentary I watched, I considered it because I thought, I want my face to be seen, and under all the makeup, my face isn't going to be seen. So I almost picked it.
Right.
He almost picked Mattress Mover.
Crazy.
What a different career he probably would have had.
Yeah.
That's all I've got, John. How many do you think we've got?
78.
Oh, 74.
Hey, woo, woo,
and if I had another fact, it'd be 74, 75.
Well, I've not got a fact, but I've got a story about Clive Barker.
Oh, go on, tell us.
So my dad used to work in a waste paper factory, as you do, and he used to get a lot of reject books. One of the reject books he got was a Clive Barker's short stories. So it was basically a black book, and there were special editions. The reason it got rejected, or the reason he got it, is because it had special edition number 0000. So, and I got Clive Barker to sign it in Forbidden Planet.
What?
I know. And do you know why it's horrible? My first relationship, the lassie took it. She took it after.
Of course she did.
She took it. So there's a special edition 000 out there with Clive Barker's writing on it, and I made that happen.
It's a collector owns that now, mate. Yeah, she sold that for a fucking fortune.
She should have put the
Don't Google it. Do not Google it. Won't. It'll break your it'll tear your soul apart.
It really will.
But thank you to the people that allow our souls to be torn apart week in, week out by giving us a quid. It's the patrons. If you want to join them and get a shout out, you can do by going to 100thingswelearnfromfilm.co.uk or 100thingsfilm. There, patreon.com 100thingsfilm. Otherwise, just follow us on the socials. We love that. That would be great. Right, so patrons are the Modern Escapism lot, Oodle, Stig, Gadget, Candy and Biggie. Cult Connections duo of Ian and Maria, Kieran, Jake, Jen and James, Aaron from the Z1 podcast, Megacon Superheroes, Dale, Ali and Megan Con. SP Film Viewer Paul, Wonder Emporium Proprietor Nigel, lovely Rob Jones, Josh Wilson, who now has an album out on Spotify.
What?
Just search Familiar Wilson to listen to his music. Mate, we should have taken you up on that offer before he was rich and famous to do a new opening and closing music. We just should have done it. Mono and Kira of Mono Rants. Be There with Belson Boys, Gavin and Dan. Gav McGill, Rachel Plant, Ian McComish, Phil Fairish and Lee Davies. Thank you so much, guys. We could do what we do without you, but it just makes it a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, you pay for our merch. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if any of you are coming along to the live show, if you're listening to this on the day of release, you've got 5 days to get a ticket and get yourself to Carlisle. It's at the Richard Rose Academy. It's Megacon, and the link is in the show notes. We'll be talking about Shrek. Now, we're going to have a couple of weeks off while we do the live show, and just I need to get over this fucking cast on my hand.
Yeah, definitely.
And the drugs and such. So, but we'll be back with Candy's Choice in a couple of weeks' time. I'll try and throw some stuff on the Patreon if I get time, between sleeping and recuperating. John, any last words? Like you're fucking going to die. Any final words for the listeners?
Next week, get your tickets in. Hopefully get to see you there, because I'm actually really looking forward to this. We're actually going to put a lot of effort in it, so get your... And
it's going to be a lot of effort for one man and his dog, John, I've got to be honest.
Pretty much, but it's worth it. Yeah. Worth it. So get your ass to Mars.
I think you said get your act together.
Get your ass to Mars.
We'll get our act together, and you get your ass to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars.
Fantastic. So he's been John, I've been Planty, and this has been 74 things that we've learned from Hellraiser. We'll tear your soul apart. See ya.
See you guys.